Hey, thanks for clicking on this video. My name is Zaji, and today I'd like to share with you a little bit about some sewing things. In particular, we're going to be talking about all the things that I sewed up in October. This video is a little bit on the late side, but I did take a week off because I wasn't feeling well. I am, however, still hosting Let's Sew Fall, which is the contest where I am giving away 4 $50 Visa gift cards just for sewing up something during this time of year. The contest is going to be running until the end of November, so you do still have time to enter if you haven't done so already. I will have that linked in my bio down below. And while you're down there, you might as well click that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so that we can continue chatting about sewing stuff in the future. Okay, so it's been a minute since I've been on here. As I mentioned, I did take a week off. I was not feeling well. I have been having a lot of sickness this year. I don't know, more than I remember having in the past, but I need to work on that in a big way. One thing I will say is that I still did manage to get quite a bit done in October, so I want to share those makes with you in this video. I'm going to start off with what I have on. This tunic, I guess. I don't know what I would call this because it is quite long. Like the actual top is quite long, so I'm gonna say it's a tunic. But this top is one of the tops that I talked about, one, in my McCall's pattern haul, but it is also the October Sew Your View pattern. This is McCall's 8141, I believe. This pattern is literally so fast. 4 pattern pieces, just one for the sleeve, one for the front, and I believe one for the back, and then the neckband. And if you're not doing the turtleneck version, then, or the mock turtleneck version, then you will only have 3 pieces to make up this design. Wow, literally could not get over how fast this was to make. I want to say it took me less than an hour to sew this up. So I'm pretty sure from start to finish this would be a pattern you'd be able to accomplish from, you know, a weekend sewing time slot, you know, you've set aside. You could definitely get this done in one day. So I encourage you to pull out your sweater knits because this pattern, I don't know why I love it so much, but it's so cozy. This is definitely going to be what I wear on Thanksgiving. I try all the time to have like something a little bit dressier for if I want to feel fancy, and then when I'm ready to really shove the food inside, I want something a little more comfy. This is definitely more comfy. You have so much room. I'm pretty sure I sized down on this pattern because it is quite oversized. But yeah, love it. Like the sleeve cuff is all one, like literally so good. I use sweater knit. This sweater knit is from Joann. I purchased a lot of sweater knit during the summertime a couple years ago, and I've been slowly making my way through it. I'm not sure if Joann even makes this kind of fabric anymore. I haven't seen this kind of sweater knit on their shelves in quite some time, but it has been just one of my favorite fabrics to pull out. I did make a I think Sew House 7 sweater last year with this same fabric but in a different colorway. It was in the dark navy color, and this is like the rust burgundy maroon. I don't know, maroon maybe? I don't know. I feel like the color is pretty true on camera. I think it's kind of like a just warm fall shade. It just makes me think of fall. This color is so pretty, and I love the white like flecks that are in there. It's such a pretty sweater knit. It is really open weave though, so it's not something that my cover stitch machine really appreciated. So I did use my serger for all the seams and then just did a zigzag stitch to hem all around the edge of this top. I will say that I deviated from the pattern in one way, and that was just to choose to not do the side vents. I think it would have looked cute with the side vents too, but for time's sake I just didn't include them. I just sewed straight up and down, and I have no regrets. And if / when I make another one of these patterns, I will exclude the side vents as well, which is bizarre because we all know I love side slits and vents. Those are like my favorite kinds of details. But I just was like, nah, we could just do it all the way around and not even fuss with that. But yeah, literally was so excited to have this finish. I've worn this top several times now, and it is actually quite cozy and easy to throw on, which is what I'm looking for, especially when it's cold and you know you're gonna have to layer anyways. I just want to be able to easily layer and know that this is going to be able to go over top of anything. Long sleeves, camisoles, t-shirts, never even know. I'm just going to be snugly under there. So yeah, anyways, love this top. But I'm going to move on to the next sweater type item that I made. I tested the Katy pattern for Made for Mermaids last month, and it was honestly one of my favorite things from the month. I did make 4 Katy patterns last month, which was, whoa. I say that now like it's casual, but it super is not. I made 4 Katys last month, and they are all so cute. Okay, so I'm going to start with my versions first, and I'm going to actually start with the one that I made with this art gallery fabric. So I'm going to have it over somewhere. I can't remember where my photos will be at. But I'm going to have it up for you to see. Honestly, this dress is just, when I first put the pattern down on top of the fabric, I was just like, this is literally like my dream. Y'all, I love stripes. I'm not someone who typically spends a lot of time pattern matching whenever I do work with stripes or anything, but I love playing around with pattern placement and fabric. That is one of my favorite things, especially with intricate prints or prints that are just really interesting. I love being able to use my pattern to highlight the pattern, or pattern to highlight the fabric, if that makes sense. And this was one of those opportunities that I had to jump on top of. I love border prints. I'm not really sure if this one is considered a border print, but I'm almost positive that it is marked as one on Minerva's website. So the fabric is cotton lycra from Art Gallery. It is a part of their Autumn Vibes collection, which had my name all over it. I'm so excited about a lot of other prints within that collection, and I'm really looking at a couple of the rayon prints that they have in that collection because the colors, okay, anyways. This particular print is called Harvest Noir. It is a very dark shade. Now, it could be my washing or something different, but to me this color looks more like a very deep green instead of like a black, a true black, which may or may not be intentional, but that's how it looks now, and I love it. I love it because it plays so beautifully with the golds and the corals within that design. Now the stripe is the opposite direction from the way that I used it. I cut out my Katy cross grain on this pattern, and because Art Gallery fabrics, cotton lycra, cotton spandex is very stretchy in both directions, I didn't have any issues with fitting by turning it the opposite direction. So it made it so that these stripes could be just their full potential awesome in this dress, and I absolutely adore how it worked out. I did spend a pretty good amount of time, I'd say, matching up the fabrics, or the front and the back pieces, so that they would align in a way that was pleasing to the eye. I know it's not perfect. One, just because of the way this pattern is designed, it's not going to be perfect with a stripe pattern like this, but I did achieve pretty close to pattern matched by my standards anyways. I'm pretty happy with that. So that Katy was awesome. We went to Rocky Mountain National Park. I am in front of Bear Lake, which is a stunning location. It is absolutely one of the prettiest places I've ever been to in my life. I was so excited to be able to go back and take pictures. Mind you, it is 32 degrees. I am only wearing a cotton lycra dress and my undergarments and those boots. And I was cold. It was very cold. I actually got sick after that as well. Y'all, it was a whole thing. Anyways, I'm out there. You can kind of see the snow a little bit in the video, but not that much. But where my husband is standing, there's so much snow and like slush piled up because it was very cold. Anyways, beautiful location. Loved how it really captured the greens, and the corals and golds and stuff can all stand out. Amazing. Honestly, one of my absolute fave makes from last month. Okay, so the next Katy that I made for myself was with this sweater knit that I have been hoarding in my stash for a couple years. I got this fabric from Joann, and I just knew that I wanted to make it with the perfect pattern. Now, I purchased, I want to say 4 yards of this fabric, and I will do my best to try and find it on Joann's website, but when you hoard stuff and it's as special as this, it tends to sell out, and sometimes they do bring things back at Joann, but I find that it's very rare that they do bring back the same exact fabric over again, unless it's like a solid color, you know, basic type fabric. But anyways, I am obsessed with the sparkle of this fabric. It literally glitters like this in the sun, and it's so sad it doesn't really translate well in photos, but I do have this video, which I'm sure I'm playing for you so that you can see how it does sparkle in the sun too. I made one for myself and one for my daughter. We both have the exact same version. Now, I didn't say for the last Katy I made it with fitted sleeves and the dress length with a mock turtleneck, and this version is the same except for the sleeves are the bishop sleeves, which I want to now make it with a different knit fabric, and I actually do have some, I think I'm gonna make, this purple right here. My daughter really likes it, so I might make her, I am not pointing to it. There we go. So my daughter has this really pretty purple rib knit right here. That one I want to say is from Raspberry Creek Fabrics, and I know for a fact that I'm going to use it to make her another Katy pattern. I'm not 100% sure if I want to make a dress for her or if I want to make it as a top. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. But yeah, love this version. The side tie just is so cute, and this sweater knit, even though it is beautiful and gorgeous and I love it and it's very special to me, is not one that I can wear on bare skin. Now, these little sparkly sparkle bits are scratchy McScratch, itchy, very itchy. So I can only wear this when I am also wearing like a shirt and tights underneath, which is fine because this is a really warm fabric, which doesn't surprise me. It's really thick and fluffy, so it's very, very warm. So I imagine that I will get more wear out of this in the winter and springtime here. Although this morning it was 12 degrees when I took Nala to school, and I probably should have put on this dress. I had this one on though, so I mean, hey, anyways. Was really, really, really excited to finally find the perfect pattern for this fabric. I will have Katy linked down below, and like I said, if I can find the fabric from Joann, I will try to also link it down below. Let me grab Nala's little version. Hee hee, her little one. Hee hee hee. She's so cute and small. Okay, anyways. But I did make another Katy pattern for Nala. It was the top. I made it in a gold or mustard buffalo check from Melanated Fabrics. It is so cute, isn't it? It's so cute on her little belly. I love it. Anyways, it is another one of those prints that looks amazing with this pattern. Anything that has a stripe sort of design will look really, really good with Katy because of how it's because of how the pattern piece is. It really just makes that really delicate swoop type effect, and I think it's just so flattering. So I really liked that Katy pattern and in the buffalo check, and I had just some remnant pieces from that as well, and it was absolutely one of my fave things. Like, I don't know why I was so obsessed with Katy. Yes, I do. It's a cute pattern and it's so fast. Anyways, so those were Katy. Really excited about that pattern. I also did make something else for Nala. I want to talk about her coat. Now, every year I make a coat for my daughter, and I've been doing this for the past 3 years. My daughter's only 3. But I've made her a coat every year now, and it's become just like an October tradition, mostly because in October is when we get our first, I guess, bits of snow. Last year we got like 6 inches overnight right before Halloween. So this year I was like, hey, I need to get started on that. I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do for this pattern, or not for this pattern, but for her coat. All year I think about making this coat, honestly, because outerwear is one of my favorite things to sew up because it is such a big deal in your life, and it's not something that you really think about, but when your jacket or your coat sucks, your wintertime commute, traveling experience is absolutely miserable. Going outside is horrible. It is not fun, and I like to be outside, and I like for my family to also be outside, and my daughter does play outside every day, so it's important that her coat is really a good one. So last year I made her a puffer style coat, which was a bit of a self-drafted, a little bit of a inspo pattern type thing, but I got a really great fit, and I got a really good coat, and over the season it really lasted well, except for her sleeves got to be too short. This year I made, this is the hooded coat pattern by 5 Berries Patterns. This is a company that I found on Etsy. I will have it linked down below because the pattern is so inexpensive. It's under $5 for this pattern. So if you have a child in your life that you can sew for, I'd say to just snag this one and make it up real quick because this pattern is so easy and so fast. Now, I used wool blend coating, the remnants actually from the coat that I made for myself, which was a butterick pattern. I'll have it linked, that video, so you can check it out above and below. And it is really warm. Like, that coat is so warm, so I wanted to use it to make a coat for my daughter as well. The lining is the Lena crepe fabric that I used for Nala and our Easter dress, or Easter dresses, the Wren dresses that I made from Chalk and Notch. So this is more remnant pieces, and I'm so happy that Nala's still small enough to where remnants will work for her coats and everything. But just with the offcuts, I was able to cut this out, including the hood. The Sherpa is some remnants from another project. Oh my gosh. So my daughter has been wearing this now for couple weeks. Yeah, for about a month, I guess. Yeah, for about a month. And the Sherpa does get quite dirty because she's a little kid and it gets quite dirty. But it's still super, super soft. And in the pattern, you're supposed to use whatever you used as your main fabric to do the outside, but this wool coating is actually quite scratchy, and my daughter's quite sensitive on her face and her neck, especially sensitive on her face and neck. She's got very sensitive skin. So the Sherpa ended up being a really good way to kind of finish the coat and add a little extra warmth around her face and comfortability, and it looks super cute. I love this coat. The top stitching and everything I did in yellow, which I love. I don't know if you'll really be able to tell. So you can kind of see the top stitching is yellow. Oh my god. You'll just have to take my word on that. The top stitching is yellow, and I really like that detail. I was really happy to be able to use those remnants because they were pretty large pieces. They just were irregularly shaped for a coat for me. So I was happy that I was able to use those little pieces to make something for Nala. Okay. Okay, so I want to talk about this next pattern. It's one that I tested for Made for Mermaids. It is called Scarlet. It is one of my absolute, I'm going to say that about everything. I was so excited about the makes I was able to accomplish. This is another pattern that I made 4 of. Yes. So I tested this version. So this was my first version of this pattern. I used the fitted long sleeves. I added about an inch to the sleeves, and I also what else did I do? I also added, of course, length to the bodice because I'm tall. I always have to do that. I didn't say that with the Katy pattern, but I made those adjustments as well. I guess that's kind of anyways, it's my standard adjustment. So I made the mini length version of this dress with the fitted long sleeves, and I absolutely love how this dress looks. It's such a good basic dress to have. Now, I haven't worn it over tights, but I'm really loving the idea of wearing this with some tights and boots and a cute sweater, and it be a really cute fall thing. But I could also amp it up and wear this with my coat over top, and it would be so cute and stylish in like nude muted tones. Okay, anyways, very excited about this dress. I went up to Sprague Lake to take pictures in this dress, which is also in Rocky Mountain National Park. It is such a beautiful spot as well, a different lake within the park that's just breathtaking. I saw some felled trees because they had recently fallen. I don't know how long, but I decided to climb up there and get some pics. It was awesome. I loved it. The trees were stable enough, so it wasn't like I was in that much danger, but my husband was a good sport about it. And was like, yeah, I'll take these pics for you. And I'm like, thanks, babe. And I love how they look. We just always have a blast up there. And I was wearing an anorak over top. It was still real cold here, although in this side of the mountain it gets more sun, so there wasn't any snow around, but it was still cold. Part of the lake on the opposite side of where you can't see is frozen over on the top, but there's not really much snow, but it was still cold. That's probably why I was sick all last month, because I was outside with no clothes on and it's real cold. So I don't know what happened there. Anyways, I also made another version of Scarlet. Now this was the one that I had in my mind from the second that Michelle, she was the designer of this pattern at Made for Mermaids, when she showed this pattern and said like, hey, we're testing this, I was like, hey, I need to make that right now. I want the maxi length. I was so excited to make the maxi length. Anyways, so excited. Okay, anywho, I made it in black Ponte. Now the other one is made in like that nude tan Ponte, which I got from Fashion Fabrics Club. This long black version I made in Ponte from Nick of Time Fabrics. It is such a great place for Ponte. So is Fashion Fabrics Club. I bought a large amount of Ponte, and I know that I'm going to be using it for something else coming up. So I think I bought maybe 6 yards, which isn't that much, but I bought 6 yards of this fabric, and it is such a beautiful weight. Like, it is so like comfortable to wear and soft, and it feels still really breathable, but you do still have that kind of you just have that really stable Ponte feel with these with this fabric, and I was really happy to have it and also happy to make something else with it. Oh my goodness. Anywho, this dress has the high thigh split, and I need a million of these. I love a dress with a split in it. I love a maxi length dress with a split in it, and I think I want to use just the skirt from this pattern to make a couple more long skirts with not a couple more, but to make skirts with a long split or a high split and the long length. I love it. I love this pattern. I had such a blast making it, and I can't wait to make more. So if you can see, like, this dress is so great, and in the black I think it really shows its holiday potential. Now those heels are some of my fave heels, and every time I wear them I always get questions, so I am going to have those linked down below for you to check out if you're interested in them. They're so cute with the gold and the patches. I love it. I love those shoes. I love those shoes. When I saw them, my eyes were like, and I could not stop thinking about them. So I'm happy that I own them now. Now the next three things, and I believe the last 3 things of the video, are all things that I made for Nala. I'm going to talk about Nala's Scarlet Patterns first, and then she has one more dress. I made 4 dresses for Nala last month. Okay, so as I mentioned, I made 2 Scarlet Patterns. Oh, this one is inside out all the way. So I made a solid version. Let me see. So I made a solid color version. This is just in some cotton Lycra that I also got from Nick of Time Fabrics. I will try to have that link down below for you as well. This is their heavyweight cotton. I want to say it's either 10 or 12 ounces. I might be wrong on that number as well, but I will have that, I will have it linked down below, as I said. She has the square neck option, of course, and fitted long sleeves with the regular skirt. This is the dress length. And it's so cute. She's so cute. I love the little smaller versions, and I know the square neckline can be a little bit intimidating, but it's actually very easy to accomplish, and I think it's one of those things that's so impressive to look at, but it doesn't require a lot of effort on your end. This is not terribly more difficult than any other type of neckline. I think it's even easier than putting a neckband in, if you ask me. Less fuss. It's just like working with woven, but working with knit. It's great. Anyways. Okay, so the last Scarlet I'm going to talk about in this video is this one, which I use cotton Lycra for. This cotton Lycra is from Raspberry Creek Fabrics. I'm pretty certain that this print will still be available because I'm thinking it's a part of the Forever collection from them. So I will have that linked for you. This print has beautiful little sunflower, or beautiful, they're pretty sizable sunflowers. They're like the size of my palm. And I love how much green is present in this design. It's actually one of my favorite fabrics and prints, and I'm thinking about purchasing some more myself because I love it. And I only have one thing. Nala and I both have a pony tank from Chalk and Notch in this fabric. I don't think Nala can fit her pony tank anymore, but she can fit this dress now, and I have just the pony tank from Chalk and Notch, and I definitely want to purchase more of this fabric to make more things with it. Anyways, Nala's version has bishop sleeves and a little ruffle skirt. I love it, love it, love it. I think it's so cute on her, the little square neckline around her little neck. She's so cute. Okay, anyways. Had a fun time photographing this, but also her reaction to seeing this, because she loves this fabric too, was awesome as well. But yeah, those are all the Scarlets I'm going to talk about in this video. The last thing is something else that I made for my daughter. This one is from Ellie and Mac. It is called, oh my gosh, I have it all twisted up. So this is the Sweetie Pie Tunic. I made this pattern towards the beginning of the month, and it just has two pattern pieces, or not two pattern pieces. It has one pattern piece that's supposed to be for the front and the back, and what I chose to do was to put a seam down the back so that I would be able to cut this dress out of a smaller yardage than they specify. I used 1 yard, I want to say, of this fabric, or maybe even a ½ yard, I can't remember. But I know I put a seam in the back. Normally it would just be a solid piece, but I chose to put a seam down the middle so that I was able to kind of play pattern Tetris and use less fabric. This is double brush poly, also from Raspberry Creek Fabrics. This print is, I'm pretty sure, supposed to be a summer print, but I love these colors. I mean, come on, yellow and teal together, it makes me so happy. I just can only smile looking at this. And when Nala has it on, she loves how swishy and huge this skirt is. I mean, come on, that is a humongous skirt. Like, yeah, I don't know how best, there we go. Can you kind of see? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. But it's a huge skirt. It's very, very swishy. Nala loves to wear this and swish around in it. So I think I will make more of these for her. I've got to confirm whether or not I used 1 yard or a ½ yard, because I can't think off the top of my head. But I know that this is definitely a good one for her and for this time of year. I think it would also be really good in summertime too, just because it's so swishy. But all that extra fabric, especially using something like double brush poly, just adds a lot of warmth to this dress. So I don't mind making more of these for her, like making more of the Sweetie Pie Tunic, but also making more of the Katy pattern for sure. I don't know about Scarlet, just because it is a little bit more open around the neck than I like to make for her. So we'll see. I might, but I'm thinking that these type of patterns will just be so much fun, and she loves swishing around in these. She likes the Scarlets too, but I just think that I will probably reach for something like this more for her to wear because it doesn't need to be stable, and I have lots more of like double brush poly type fabrics and like rib knits and things like that than I do have of stable cotton lycras. So we'll see what I end up choosing to make for her in the future, but I was really happy to make this one and just see the fit and see that she likes it so much. So that worked out really well for me in the grand scheme of things, because now I have a better idea of what sort of things I want to try to make. I'm thinking that going forward, now that November is like more than half over anyway, that I am going to start trying to make more warm type pieces. So some things like in corduroy and probably just longer tops and things like that, because my daughter definitely needs more long sleeve tops and like jumpers and things like that. So I'm going to be trying to make some more of those for her, but I'm also going to be trying to make a lot more long sleeve dresses and tops and pants and things like that for myself too. I'm gonna just continue to be sewing because I also have another coat in mind, the coat that I want to make for myself this year, and I'm thinking that I might actually try to use some coating fabric that I talked about using last year for a coat. But we will see. I did get this new awesome lighting, so I'm hoping to do some sew with me's, and if you're subscribed to the channel, you'll be able to see those when I do release them. But I am thinking about doing a sew with me on a coat. So we'll see all about that and see if I do get around to doing that. But that's all that I've got to share with you today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Yeah, have a good day. Bye-bye.